Welcome back. You're watching the South African Morning on this Friday. It is a holiday in South Africa commemorating Youth Day. That's the 16th of June. Now, torrential rains have wreaked havoc in the Western Cape. In fact, this comes as damaging winds and heavy rainfall left a trail of destruction in the Mother City and Paarl. One person was seriously injured and several thousands have been left displaced across the province. Infrastructure has also been severely damaged. For more on this, let's bring in Colin Diner, who is the head of Western Cape Disaster Management Centre. Colin, a very good morning to you once more. When we spoke yesterday, because you were still in the mix of just dealing with everything, I imagine today you found some reprieve. What's the latest that you can share with me this morning?
Yeah, good morning. So, yes, we did have some reprieve yesterday, gave us an opportunity just to do a lot of clearing up, just to prepare, because we actually really are just in the middle of this. We have been informed with weather services, with our daily briefing, that we will have a third cold front hit us tomorrow, and then there'll be a further cold front earlier next week. So yesterday was dedicated a lot to mopping up. We needed to airlift a patient from Citrusdal, a young child who we got a window of opportunity, and our emergency medical services was able to use that and fly the person to Cape Town. There was a lot of work done in terms of releasing water out of, for example, the Clan William Dam. There was a lot of inspections done around areas just to prepare us for what's going to happen tomorrow. So today will be another day that we've got a slight reprieve, whereby we are going to just pre-position resources, make sure that roads that we might have to access, and especially up on the west coast in the Cedarburg, Matsikama area, that for us is quite a concern with the weather coming. So yeah, really just another day of preparation. We are going to have strong winds today. There is a challenge with wave heights, but from a rain perspective, that's really going to happen tomorrow.
Let's speak about that perspective of the rain, Colin. We are hearing experts talk about the catchment records, that something like this happened over 10 years ago, if not more. You're talking something like 2002 and 1990. But is it unprecedented to have this amount of rain? I mean, 60 millimeters of rain in 36 hours is a lot, but is it unprecedented?
Yes, I would say it is. We deal in the Western Cape. Obviously, we have our summer fires and we have our winter flood season. So it's something that we prepare for, to have a very heavy rainfall season. But this year, I must say, these last couple of days for me has really been unprecedented. The scale of it, the volumes, and just as far as it has been, has been really large.
And Colin, let's talk about the efforts going into the weekend. We know that there is more rain predicted for the weekend. What are your plans on the ground in as far as getting people to safety and ensuring that people are protected, as it were?
Yeah, so there's a few components to this. Obviously, what we've done is we've looked at getting all the stakeholders together, and we've done that already early in the week when we started getting the early warnings from weather services. So it's a really large spectrum, all our disaster management centers across the province. Obviously, the city of Cape Town, our stakeholders like social development and SASSA, who deal with the humanitarian side, the Defence Force, the South African Police. So we've got, a very large spectrum, traffic police, etc., that come into our disaster center. We plan together. So what the plan for the next couple of days will be, and specifically for tomorrow, firstly now is preparation, so pre-positioning resources, providing awareness to people, ensuring that people that are at risk are removed from those risk areas, and then also obviously people needing a humanitarian aid. So there's a lot of work being done with our partners who have assisted with food and blankets and just protecting people who have had to be evacuated. There's also a lot of work being done in the city around sandbagging. So there's a wide spectrum of work that needs to be done at various levels to ensure that people are safe and that when the storm hits, that we're prepared for it.
And of course, you speak about the sandbags in the city, Colin. Obviously, the Cape Town, when we speak about 10 years ago, it looked a lot different to what it is now. I imagine the drainage system is also affected, which is why we're having this flooding problem.
Yeah, look, I think the big thing, informal settlements, by its very nature, are in places that generally were not planned to have human settlement. So drainage is going to be a problem. It's got a lot to do with design when around drainage, and obviously you're not going to see that in an informal settlement to the extent that you'd like to see it. So that would mean that storms of this nature, you will see a lot of localized flooding. And what then is really necessary from the disaster management and from the informal settlement departments is to have a look at how this water will come in, look at previous situations where this has happened. And we also have modeling software where we could, sort of work out more or less where water will be going, if we've had a certain amount of rainfall. So all these things have to be brought together. And we then need to make the best of how we're going to deal with that.
And Colin, before I let you go, and as far as your planning is concerned, we know that normally there is a rain season that happens in the Western Cape province between June and into July. Obviously, I think it has come in early now. What's the plan moving forward should there be a lot more rainfall?
Yes, look, I think in terms of what we call our winter preparedness plan, a lot of work is done on early preparation. And, just a simple thing is municipalities keeping their waterways and their drains open, their drainage systems open helps immensely. And we've seen that across the province. We're quite strict on that. So we've seen across the province, although there's been a lot of flooding, it could have been a lot worse. So, we do a lot of that early preparation. After this incident, we will have a look at what went wrong, at which areas can we improve. And we have to do that immediately because, as you say, we could have more cold fronts coming in a few weeks. We have been told that it's going to be a lot of early winter rain, but that we won't have late winter rain. That's the long-term sort of projections from weather services. But, we can't, we get very good information from them, but we have to assume in our planning that we have a rain season and we must be prepared for that.
Colin Diner, thank you so much for your time. I know you are very hard at work on the ground with your team. All the best to you and be safe out there. That was Colin Diner, head of Western Cape Disaster Management Centre, here on the South African Morning. Of course, the South African Weather Services has also issued level 1 warnings in the Western Cape province in as far as winds and more rainfall is predicted. They are saying there's 20 millimeters of rain that is expected within the Western Cape province over the next 2 days, which will bring forth another 2 cold fronts by Monday. Now,